I've been wanting to get into the Presonus Studio One DAW a little more and upgrade from the free Studio One Prime to Studio One Artist, as that's all I need. And I thought, what better way to do that than to get an audio interface that comes with Studio One Artist. So I have the Presonus Studio 1824C audio interface, and this should be a direct replacement for my Audient ID44 audio interface, so I'll be able to connect all of my gear and have room to spare. And I'm going to go over all of the features and the connections that the 1824C has when I do the unboxing, and then I'm going to get it connected and we'll do a little bit of recording to hear how it sounds. But before I get into the unboxing, I just want to thank Sweetwater. They set me up with this Presonus audio interface, so big thank you to them. And if you're looking for gear for your home studio, be sure to check out Sweetwater. They have a huge selection of gear at great prices, and they even offer flexible payment plans so you can free up your money a bit if you need to. Now, let's get this unboxed. All right, let's get this open. You have your getting started guide there. Audio interface, probably the adapter to plug this in because it's not USB powered. And then you have USB-C cable, the plug-in, so this probably goes to, let's see what's in here. So yes, the plug-in goes into there. Some feet for the bottom if you don't plan on putting this into a rack. You can just have it sit on your desk. And then you have another cable here, which is your typical USB to USB-C connector cable. So you could use this with your USB 3 if you don't have USB-C on your device. And now here is our audio interface wrapped in plastic. So let's get that off of there. All right, so this is the top of your audio interface. There is the nice front panel right there. And these knobs feel really nice and tight. Great knobs all around on here. The power buttons, this nice rubber, doesn't feel cheap at all. This is a really nice feeling interface. It's completely metal. The chassis is completely metal, which is nice. Then you see on the back here, we have 6 inputs that can be mic inputs or line inputs. And one thing I should have mentioned on the front is you have mic inputs here, and these could also be line or instrument inputs. So these are your only 2 instrument inputs if you don't have a DI. But on the back, you have 6 mic or line inputs. And then you have 8 line outputs. So you can connect a ton of external gear with this. And you also have your main outputs. So these 8 outputs are in addition to your main stereo outputs, which are nice. You have the SPDIF on there, and you also have ADAT in and out. And that's something that's very important to me because I have an ADAT interface that I want to connect to this, and I want to use it with the in and out. A lot of interfaces just have the ADAT out, but having ADAT in and out will allow me to use external gear like compressors and EQs, and I can run those out from my DAW into my ADAT interface and come back into my DAW. So that is very nice. You have your clock out there if you want to sync your clock with another device. And you also have MIDI in and out. And that's something you don't see too much on audio interfaces anymore. It used to be common on audio interfaces, but you don't see that too much anymore. And I have an older MIDI controller that actually requires a MIDI interface like this. So that's actually a nice little addition for me. And then you have your power input over there. All right, now let's look at the controls. On the front, you have your 8 gain knobs for your 8 inputs. Then you have your main volume output knob right here, and 2 volume knobs for both of your headphone outputs, which is really nice. So if you're working with somebody else or you want to show somebody else your mix, they can control the volume of their headphones independently from yours. It's a great little feature on there. And this will be your LED meters for all 8 of your inputs right here. You have 48 volt phantom power that you can enable right there. If you want to mute everything, you have a master mute button right there. And what I like is this mono button. So if I want to hear how my mix sounds in mono, I can instantly press that and it's going to let me hear what everything's going to sound like in mono. That's a feature that I use quite a bit on my other audio interface, so I'm glad it's on this one here. The manufacturer's suggested price for this is $649, but Sweetwater sells it for $529 quite often. And for the amount of features that come with this, as long as it sounds good, that's an excellent deal. The mic preamps on this Presonus calls XMAX preamps, and I'm not too familiar with them, but from what I've read, they're supposed to be smooth and clean, so I'm going to be checking that out in just a bit. And another thing that I really like about this is that it's rack mountable, so I can put this in a rack if I want. It doesn't just have to sit on my desk and take up space on a surface, or if I wanted, I could put those little feet on there and I could have it sit on my desk if I wanted to do that. All right, now let's get this connected and we'll hear how it sounds. And if you want to grab a new audio interface or any gear for your home studio, be sure to check out Sweetwater. They always seem to have a huge selection of gear in stock and the prices are always great. And one thing I really like about Sweetwater is they have dedicated sales engineers. So if you're like me and you're wanting to replace an Audient ID44 and you're not sure what interface is going to have all the connections that you need for everything that you need to connect, you can talk to your dedicated sales engineer and they'll walk you through what gear you might want to get that fits the description that you're giving them, and that way you get exactly what you need. And of course, Sweetwater shipping is always super quick, so you can get the gear you need right away. So thank you, Sweetwater, for all you do for us musicians. Now, let's check out some recording with the 1824C. All right, so I have the Presonus 1824C connected to my computer and I'm speaking into it right now. I have this microphone connected to line 1. It is a condenser microphone, so I have the 48-volt phantom power on. This is the AKG C214 microphone, and I'm not going to do any editing to my voice, so this is the raw recording that you're hearing, and I'm recording it into Presonus Studio One. Now, connecting the Presonus 1824C was super easy. I just plugged in the USB to my computer, plugged in the power adapter to the wall, and that was it. I had to go to Presonus's website and register it, and then I downloaded the universal control software that they call it, which basically installs the drivers for this, and it also allows you to control it through software, which is kind of neat as well. So I can control all of the settings through software on the computer instead of actually touching them on the audio interface itself. And another thing that I noticed when I registered the audio interface was that it comes with a ton of software. You get the Studio Magic software bundle with it, which has instruments and effects and DAWs in there as well. So that was really cool to see. I totally forgot that it actually came with all of that. So I'm really excited to dig in, get this fully connected into my studio so I have everything set up properly, and I'll probably mount it into my rack. But right now I just wanted to test it out, hear what it sounds like to make sure it sounded okay before I put it into the rack and had everything installed. And like I said, I'm going to record a song and mix it using Studio One Artist and the included effects that come with it, plus the plugins that come with that Studio Magic pack. So I'm really looking forward to digging in and creating that song. I've already got it written. I'm looking forward to hear how it sounds when I'm done. Now check out a very affordable Presonus audio interface by clicking the video on the screen. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear how that song turns out. And of course, for more videos like this, thank you so much for watching. For Audio Tech TV, I'm Zane. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.